Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Ah, R. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Bienvenue. Oh, hey. Ciao. Hola. Konnichiwa. Willkommen. And it's too hot to think of any more today. I'm melting. I'm melting. So we got Bristle here first, or B-Wizzle, or Bristle, whichever you prefer. Or Bwizzy, I'm going to go with. And my lovely, lovely Marrits, how are you, my dear? I hope all is well. And Yella's here as well. Yella! It's just too damn hot for me. Hello, Sky. Yeah. Sharpie no good in heat, and prolonged heat even worse. No, it's not as hot as it has been in the UK this year, but it's just seeped into everything, and everything's bloody hot now. So, yeah. Hello, 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 Patty, my dear. Oh dear, chest paint. I would offer to rub it better, Marriott, you know that, but I better not. Nor kiss it better. But yeah, I'm struggling with the heat now. It's, yeah, ridiculous. Although, hopefully, it's looking like next week it might cool down a bit and we might get some rain. Because we're rapidly approaching hosepipe ban time. So yes, no more washing your cars, no more watering your gardens. Because that really makes a difference. Obviously, fish keepers do get special dispensation. If you have a pond that has animals in it, fish and frogs and stuff, you're allowed to refill that with a hose. And fish tanks are fine. Just pour the water down the sink when you do the water changes rather than onto the garden. Keep it in the system. Howdy, Broser. Lurk along, my friend. All are welcome. Well, the ones that aren't welcome have already been blocked anyway, so, you know. Yeah, it is BS, but we've had, so far this year, we've had 1/5 of the average rainfall. And if you watch tomorrow's video, you will see just how bad it's actually getting. Yes, Soggy Bottom is Swamp Ass, Adele, yes. But it's also a play on cakes, or pies, I should say, because there's a bakery, cookery type show in the UK, the Great British Bake Off. And one of the worst things they can do is have a soggy bottom on their pie. So soggy bottom has come into the vernacular as a non-offensive term, but yeah, swamp ass. Or trench ass, more likely. Swamp undermoob, swamp pits, swamp crack. Yeah, just, this isn't a healthy glow, this is sweat. This t-shirt is going to be soaked through by the end of it. Cool blooming heck. There's a blast from the past. Frankie B, how the devil are you? You yeah, that's been a while. Probably the last time I did a modelling video, which is I don't sweat, I glisten. No, I drip. I have to be careful doing water changes that I don't turn my tanks to marine accidentally in this heat. I mean, most of the tanks are up 28, 30 degrees at the moment. Yeah, trying to. I mean, there is actually a modelling video on my desktop right there, ready to upload, and it's been there for about 5 years, and I just not got around to uploading it yet because it's pretty bad. It's a kit unboxing video and review of what was a limited edition kit that you can't get anymore, so it's kind of pointless uploading it now, really. Did I know that dihydrogen monoxide has a pH of 7, which is higher than any other acid? Yeah, but you got to be careful. You can't be taking in all these dangerous chemicals. But dihydrogen dioxide, that's got more oxygen in it, so it's better for you. Joke, joke. Do not drink the H2O2. Yeah, I know. You have to say that these days because otherwise some idiot will go and do it. Ivermectin, Clorox. Tide Pods. I moved cross country. It finally set back up normal. Good, good, good. So moving anywhere as a pig, but cross country, yeah, that's going to suck. I would probably think. I mean, if you're talking fish tanks rather than model tanks, it'd be easy to sell all the fish, move, and then just buy new fish. Howdy, Scully. And Miss Mandy, or sorry, Mrs. Mandy, just in case Mr. Zen is watching in the background somewhere, lurkifying. Do, 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 do. I was thinking about doing it and doing the shark thing, but it was too hot. Oh, yes, and while I remember, yeah. To anyone who needs a hug, because I know there's a few of you there that do kind of need a hug at the moment. So, I mean, I don't because, yeah, it's just too bloody hot for that kind of thing. I know a lot of the fish family been following for like 4 years. Just thought, I just sweaty hug, Grace. That's what an air hug. Floof Monster is sitting in his second place, where he can keep an eye on this tank at the moment. He's sitting on top of the Shelleys. Oh, oh, Mandy's got a Daniken Guppies. Yeah, so e-hugs aren't sweaty and gross. They're completely safe. You can give someone a massive e-hug and there's no chance of them catching anything. Oh, gold knees. Swamp bass. It's too hot to bother with the rest. Ooh. Oh, there you go, Yellow. Big old hug, bud. I'll hug anyone, I don't care. Did that get you right in the feels, Yellow? Peacock or spiny eels, any thoughts? I never kept an eel. Don't go there. That's a worm, not an eel or a snake. Yeah, it'd be cool. I have thought about it. But then don't really fit in with my tanks. All my tanks, I think, are too small. Sean is here, and Nano. Even the back of my ears are sweating. It dribbles running down the back of your ear. Yeah, so I've not done or tried. The closest I got to an eel was a Senegal bicher. Sorry, Senegal polypterus. Because then we know we're pronouncing it correctly, because there's about 8,000 different pronunciations. And all bar one of them are wrong, and whichever one you choose, you're going to be wrong. Yeah, heat killing me too. Being large and well insulated is not good in this weather. Plus, I doubt the hair's helping matters much. Although it works as quite a good wick and soaks up the sweat on the head and runs it straight down the middle of my back. Yeah, it's not been good because the tops I wear for work, or the uniform, is a very, very dark blue, almost black. And yeah, so mine's been black with white stripes on it for the past few days. Sweating is from the weather. It's 33 degrees today, no wind, and yeah, it's not just the air temperatures, that the ground is just heat soaked. All the buildings, everything is just heat soaked. So even when the sun goes down, you're basically sat in a storage heater. Yeah, the weather is nice today. I'd gladly swap weather with you, Adele. I'd quite happily have an Aussie summer and a British winter. That wouldn't bother me at all. I would be super happy if it started snowing right now. If the temperature dropped to freezing and it started snowing, this will be streaming outdoors in the garden. Aussie winter, British summer. Well, yeah. Oh. The mad mower is back. Evening, Tom. How you doing? Sean has a new injury, a new random injury of the week. Building a rack, got wood down, didn't know. Small old chunk of wood was up there. And, yeah, managed to drop it and nail it in your arm. Yeah, that's pretty much the way those things work. Oh, the shorts starting to take off. Snakes in the grass, I'm going to cut them. Oh, yeah. Is that a bit like the time when I accidentally, totally accidentally, not a Sharpie accidentally, an accident, when I was working at the model shop and I was weed whacking some very long grass, and I didn't see the rabbit in there, and I weed whacked the rabbit's head off. That wasn't pleasant. You get the snowbirds, people who live up north in the winter and drive down for the... Yeah, I'd be the opposite way around. I'd go wherever it's coldest at the time. About 47 Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's plenty warm enough for me. Yeah. I did kind of feel bad at the time. But at least that was one that didn't get electrocuted when it decided to chew through the power cables underneath the shop. That happened several times. We'd whack wasps and bees like I'm playing a video game. Yep. 3.6k. YouTube is weird. Yeah, that's the thing with shorts is because of the way the algorithm works, the more people watch it, the more it gets promoted or pushed further up the list, as it were. But then as soon as the views start dropping off, it just dies completely. So yeah, I had shorts that just did nothing, like 20 views, and other ones that did thousands overnight, and you're like, huh? Yeah, that's like it's all views, it's all engagement, it's all view time. Something's up. Everyone was getting crazy numbers. Ah, well, I wouldn't. Mind you, I haven't checked my YouTube studio, so you never know. Yeah, the lizards jump right in front of it. Yeah, it's like rabbits at the side of the road. They'll dart in, dart out, dart in, and then they'll dart right out in front of the car or bike, and then you get thud thud. Exactly, but don't work too hard, Adele. I know I don't really have to tell you, but the same goes for everyone. You need to have a work life balance. Even if that life is just sitting at home going, oh, bloody hell. You need the balance. Because if you overdo it with the work or you overdo it with the life, yeah, your body will let you know pretty soon. And that's how you become the mad mower. Exactly, Tampa Tom. I just say you're a mad mower because I wouldn't want to be outdoors in Tampa cutting grass any time of the year. It's just, nope, too hot. Just don't water it, then it goes brown and dies and crunchy, and then you don't need to mow it anymore. Pretty simple. Adele, I'm a male who was single for 18, 20 something years. I'm more familiar with repetitive strain injuries. The game is what doesn't hurt today. And I spent 7 years doing nasty things to chickens. Cactus is dead. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, but to me, cactus feels like you've got thousands of needles sticking in you, which is kind of what RSI gets like. Everyone needs to balance life, work, life, and Shelley's. Exactly. I need to rebalance my Shelley's because we've got too many of them still. Um, and we didn't make the call to the LFS this week because I knew what the weather was going to be like, and damned if I was going to be running around yesterday getting all getting all my chores done as well as work, and then try and catch dozens or hundreds of bloody fish this morning, especially including shell dwellers. And no one else can work. Someone has to do it. And in the meantime, I'm banking up annual leave hours. Where are you going? You're probably going to need them all. That's not a possible problem. It's kind of, I've got 50 odd Shelleys in 15 gallons, Sean. So, time to catch probably 10 of the adults and lower the numbers a little bit and let some of the smaller ones grow. Yeah, I mean, not this week, the week after, I've got a long week because of holidays and stuff. I know it's pathetic compared to what some people work, but for me, it's a long week. It's 30, 31 hours, 32 hours. I'm completely out of tanks and containers. That's the problem, Sean. I've got shrimp in a bloody bucket out the back, outdoors. I've got cherry shrimp outdoors in a bucket because I needed their tank for bloody bristle noses. And I can't afford another tank. I ain't going anywhere to put one anyway. Not with the electric bill I had to pay this week. One of those ones where you've been paid for the first time in over a year, and it's like, yes, result. Money's gone into my account. Yes. Here's your electric bill. Oh, great. There it all goes again. Yeah. Well, I say you do your bit, don't you, Adele? But don't be getting taken advantage of. Make sure someone else does their share. So you take down the DVDs and put them in. Once I can afford to buy a rack and 6 or 7 tanks and heaters and filters and air pumps and wood and God knows what else I need to put in them, I will, but I can't afford it. Yeah, I could do the old direct debit on the bills, but the rate that the prices are going up at the moment, it's just not worth it. No merit, you're not paying for a rack. The rack's the bloody cheap bit. The rack costs less than one of those bloody tanks does. Yeah, this rack here, yeah, that costs less than each of the 6-gallon tanks. And each of the, I think the rack and each of the filters that are in those top 3 tanks cost the same. So yeah, it's just a no-go at the moment. How much a tank's there? Well, if we work out on the current rate of exchange, those are 6-gallon-ish. Well, they 7, they're 28 litre. Yeah, 7-gallon tanks. And the current exchange rate, they are about $40, maybe 45. As we don't do pound per gallon or half price or anything like that. Yeah, I literally just get a cheap rack off of Amazon, work out what the weights of the things are, and you can go from there. 5-gallon rimless tank kits from Kmart, 32 Aussie dollars. Yeah, it's just tanks are expensive here. And then all the stuff to put in them. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't need substrate for the fry tanks, because if they're full of bristle noses, they create their own substrate in about a week anyway. And I don't want plants or stuff in there if I can help it, because I have to catch the fish out of them regularly. And I'm not talking catching 1 or 2 bristle noses for a person. I'm talking catching 30, 50, 100 at a time. And yeah, you don't want to be chasing them around plants and stuff in a pretty looking tank. You want to be able to put the net in there, lift the piece of driftwood up, put the net under it, and then hike it out the water, put the driftwood back in, and be left with a net full of bristle noses. That's the ideal. And that one down there, which was the shrimp tank, is going to be a nightmare, because not only has it got substrate in it, but it's also now full of algae, green hair algae. Because 150 bristlenoses produce a lot more poop than 150 shrimp do. Really shitty substrate, yeah. Well, substrate wise, I just use sand now. I've not really found any massive advantage or benefit for using expensive planted plant substrates. Yeah, pretty much. Well, that's what a net is, isn't it, Mandy? 29 goes for 300 krona, which is what, about 25. Yes, it's about the same. About the same merit UK to Norway when you're taking the exchange rates and things. Do bristlenoses need driftwood? Pretty much. I'm not sure they need it, but they spend a lot of time on it. It's just its surface area that grows biofilm, which is what they graze on. So they munch on that all day long, quite happily. And then, yeah, literally just pick the bit of wood out and drop the bristlenoses off of it into a net. It's pretty. Bear in mind, it usually takes me about an hour and a half to catch let's call it an order, shall we? A shop order. And that would typically be 100 standard bristlenoses, 30 to 50 super reds, 30 to 50 shrimp, 40 snails, and whatever else. So, yeah. When you're catching that many fish, you want to make it as easy as possible. Yeah, bristlenose, the ancestris isn't a wood eater, but they eat what grows on the wood. So, because the stuff that grows on the wood does digest the wood, which is why if you look at a piece of wood that's been in a bristlenose tank for a good while, it'll suddenly look nicely weathered, and all the sharp edges will be smoothed off. And yeah, then it'll start falling to pieces because they've nearly eaten all the way through it. But yeah, I mean, you can't really see them in here, but there's basically a tree stump back there. You can see one side of it. It goes up and then up there. And then behind me, right where my thumb is, there's another big chunk of wood in that one. Then each of these have got various different chunks of wood in. So there's the one down the bottom. So there's that one. So there's that one. So there's that one. The one with the clownplex has got a big bit of wood. The one with the cories has got a chunk of wood in it. The one with the shrimps in it. Yeah, the only tank that hasn't got wood in it is the Shelley Tank. Evening out, Mr. Wet Socks. Got soaked moving Oscars to a bigger tank while the floor needed a mop. Ah, you got the water down there already. I understand not liking some of the fish found, but this is John. Hit the like already. Yeah, there's plenty of people who don't like me, Mandy. Don't worry about it. Doesn't bother me. We're all different. We like different stuff. I mean, some people like Alien Worlds and Airsoft, but you know. Howdy, Scotty. Gonna go, need to finish building the rack and more 2x4s. Not looking forward to paying the price. See you later. Remember, everyone, set up a Shelley Tank. See you later, Shawnee Sean. And hello, Cassie B. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Do your job, do your job. Oh dear. And June would love to go to a haunted site with you. I can think, I know some that you would enjoy, and I know some that you would hate. And Stevie P is here as well, Mr. 2003 Awkwardix, or Awkwardix, which is very easy to mispronounce and call him Aquadix. That might actually be more amusing. Yes, don't worry that no guppies have been harmed in the making of this tank. Yeah, not this time anyway. Not since Spazzy Boy at the last one. And Silver Creek's here. Funny finding you here on your own stream. Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it? I was just thinking that the other day. It's like, I haven't randomly shown up in anyone else's stream for a while. Not on camera anyway. But then normally the streams that I get a chance to watch that would have random people come up, it's that kind of time of day when you really don't want me turning up in the stream. This is going to be... And for those not used to it, yes, this is just tobacco. I'm not smoking anything naughty. Because if I was smoking that at the speed I'm going through cigarettes, I'd be... by now. Ugh. It's because I'm sweating out so much nicotine. I need to increase the intake to keep the levels correct. If you got one then, June, smoke it if you got it. Blow a bit this way, will you? Yeah, plant supplies, yeah. They both grow in poo anyway, so you know. Oh, I was a true stoner. I have many a story about passing out, or yeah, generally passing out on the weed. And there was one time I passed out forwards out of my armchair, completely out of it. Kerflump, face first on the floor. Bent that pinky right back there. Broke it, obviously. And didn't realise till I woke up the next morning. And got up and thought, why is my finger over the back of my hand like that? Oh well. Yeah, about straight. Oh, pardon me. Getting windy here again. Now, unfortunately, it's not the good kind that comes from outdoors and blows cool air in. It is absolutely dead still outside. I'm even like the tall grass. I've got grass out there that's like 2 foot long and brown, and that's not moving. It's I mean, there's more air movement coming out of the bloody nano US or nano air pump that's going into the shrimp bucket. You know, there's those teeny tiny little piezo air pumps, like 1 watt. Yeah, that's producing more. Happening once in Moonshine, didn't know how I was drunk until I stand up. Yeah, that's never a good one when you get drunk from the feet up, Al. It's always better to get drunk from the head down. There's certain drinks that will do that. Is like your head will go and you'll be like, okay, I'm drunk. I've had enough. And then you can walk home fine. There are other ones where it starts from the bottom up. And you sat there at the bar thinking, yeah, I'm fine, I'm chatting away, everything's good. And then you go to stand up and go, oh, bang. You ever think, well, my pain tolerance and lack of smell, I want just wonky receptions? Yeah, I probably do. I'm definitely a medical anomaly. I know that much. Doctors have said so much. Way my bowels work, even just the way I swallow is wrong. Because for most people, pipe goes down and then it actually goes like a U-bend, almost like a trap, like under a sink. With me, it goes straight. So when I swallow, it goes literally straight to my stomach. And yeah, if it's silent and I go, you can actually hear it hit when it goes down. Starts at the top, works its way down. By morning, yeah, it works its way back out again. And yeah, yes. Well, I say good beer. I should use. If I was on the beers, it would be Guinness or Newcastle Brown Ale, or maybe just a good strong stout. Certainly nothing that looks like a sample. If you can see through a beer, they brewed it wrong. If it's yellow, it's a lager. It's not a beer. Did I used to be a sword swallower? No. And don't tempt me to try it, Silver Creek, because I do actually have a sword literally just over there. Although I don't think anyone could swallow that blade. Not all the way. Because you'd have to be straight through all the way down. Because it would go in one end and out the other, literally. You say 3-foot cavalry saber. Good beer is brown. Really good beer you can chew. Clearing up after getting over the sickness, lots of catching up to do. That's always the case. You get ill, you just end up getting further behind on everything. Which is why I try and stay ahead of things like water changes. Because then if I do get ill, yeah. Because trust me, I had to do water changes when I had corona. That was not good. That was not good days. And when you move 2 buckets of water and you have to go and have a sleep for a few hours because you're just worn out. When you're getting out of breath, carrying a bucket from the sink to the fry rack, and the fry rack's literally, I can touch the tank from there, and the kitchen sink is about 6 feet that way. When you're getting out of breath, carrying a bucket of water that far. Stoked now, playing the tank, been moving a lot of them, coming up with new scaping ideas and fish to add in. I don't do scaping ideas. If I had a new tank that I was going to make a display tank, let's say this, I would just go around the shop and go, oh, that's a cool looking bit of wood. Yeah, oh yeah, we'll have that. And a few of them rocks. Yeah, that was a cool shape. Yeah, that one will do, that one will do. Get home, chuck them in the tank. Go, yeah, that's it. Done. And then just stuff the plants in the gaps, which is pretty much what we've done there. It's, you know, once the plants go nuts, they just take over anyway, and you can't see the hardscape. So I don't really get that worried. Oh, so we've got naughties going on between his German blue ram and his golden balloon ram. Ooh, that's going to be some interesting offspring if that works. Probably have some standard golds and some standard balloons. Actually, would you not? You might. Yeah. I don't know how ram genetics works. I know with Bristle noses, if you put a common colour, the blacky, browny, spotty one, that's all you're going to get. Whatever the colour of the other one is, whether it's sunshine yellow or super red, they would all just come out black. If you had a long fin in there, then you get 50-50, but just playing with it because we're all tank gods. We are, really. We all create our little worlds and then look after them. Well, sort of. Some do, some don't. I was talking to someone at work the other day who was thinking about getting a fish. So I sort of start going about the nitrogen cycle and water changes and filter cleans. She said, why do you have to change your water and clean the filter? Like, because they basically, that water they're swimming around in is their toilet. It's just like, what, fish go to the toilet? God help me. I'm like, yeah, and they produce ammonia as well, straight out of their gills. Yeah, well, those that don't spend eternity in the 17th ring of Dante's Inferno, fish hell. Well, I mean, I live not far down the road from one of them. There is a town called Dis, not too far that direction. And Mikey's here. Hey, yo. How you doing, Mike? Good to see ya. Yeah, so Dis being one of the circles of hell from Dante's Inferno. Which test strips showed ammonia? Some of them do. I'm trying to think which flavour it is. I know one of them I did, but I really don't bother testing for ammonia. What the fish are doing is a good enough sign whether there's ammonia in the water or not. Hey, Ricky. Okay, the water's hot at the moment because we're in the middle of a heat wave, or the end of a heat wave. So all the snails are up near the surface because there's not a lot of oxygen in the water. That's by the by. If all the bristle noses start coming up as well, that means the oxygen level is getting really low. That probably means there's some ammonia there. Put my teeth back in. Probably means there's some ammonia in there. What the cloudiness you see at the moment is it's just bacterial blooms because they're massively overstocked and they get cleaned out two times a week. Howdy, Chewy. Cool video. Do they call that wind any special name? Well, it depends which wind. The general one on the airfield. It's just being in Norfolk and it being really flat. That's all it is. You talk about the other wind, yeah. That's normally just a result of me eating something. Yeah, I think it might have been API Silver Creek. Hey God, it must be. I can't speak English. Silver Creek. Yeah, I think it was API that did the all-in-one. Have I got any API test strips? Probably not. I know I've got some somewhere. They test for a whole bunch of stuff I never actually test for. What we got? Random generic Aquacare 5-in-1 test strips. So yeah, nitrite, nitrate, pH, GH and KH. Well, I mean, if you got nitrite in the water, that means you got ammonia. So, but as I say, I tend not to do fishless cycles. I just put some fish in there and go for it. Ricky's on a trip in Kuala Lumpur. Mum's in Kuala Lumpur. And Ricky's in Borneo. So Ricky's even hotter than we are. But yeah, that's like water testing. When I started keeping fish, I sound like I've been doing this for donkey's years. I've only had them for 4 years, maybe 5 now. But yeah, when I started, I was doing regular water tests every week and writing the results down, or every other day, or whatever. And I really don't remember the last time I did any water tests, other than dunking the TDS pen in just to check the pH, just so I know roughly where my tanks are pH wise. Sometimes weird things can happen. You can get a build-up of mold that you don't really notice, that all starts rotting down gradually, and then the pH starts to drop in the tank. Nitrites and nitrates always read 0, never over 10. Gone a month before water change. Yeah, I'm guessing, Cassie, that your tanks are probably rather lower stock than mine. Oh no. Oh, sorry for that, Ricky. How many doggo passed away? Oh, poor little doggo. Scritches behind the ears, under the chin, belly rubs. Yeah, so I'm guessing, Cassie, that your tanks are rather lower stock than mine. As I say, the only tank I've got that runs anywhere near 10 parts per million nitrate after a week is the Shelley Tank. And that's purely because it's got that much sand in the bottom of it that it does actually do the denitrifying. It's got the anoxic. There's 2 terms that are kind of, both of them are right, but one of them's righter. Low stock, like to have more fish, like an angel or 2 or 12. Yeah, I mean, just to give you a general idea, Cass, that's a 6-gallon. Those are all 6-gallon tanks. Most of them have got 150 bristle noses in, plus shrimp. Oh, sorry, 150 bristle noses plus snails. That one's got about 20 baby cribs in there. That one's got about 30 baby limia in it as well. I've got a 15-gallon sitting right here. It's got like 50 shell dwellers in it. Dr. Anthony gave a great answer to why the kangaroo is attracted to urine. Is it the uric acid or the urea? If we yeah, salts. Given the lack of salt, or the amount I'm sweating lately, might be an idea for me to start. But yeah, so there's the Shelley Tank. Get the camera straight. And you're never going to see all of them at once because they're pretty much the same colour as the substrate, and a lot of them are rather teeny tiny. But yeah, so there's 50 odd in there. I mean, how often do you see shell dwellers at the top of the tank? Just don't swim in the Amazon. Yeah, exactly. That's just good advice. So that one is just snails and limia. That one is snails and bristle noses. Oh, pardon me. Good job I wasn't facing the camera. Snails and bristle noses. Snails and bristle noses. Snails and bristle noses. Oh, and a cookie monster. And the silver creek. So there we have the baby crids. And another 150 bristle noses. Well, they're the Pelvicachromis subocellatus. There's some black neons. Everyone else is hiding because it's too hot. Even the electric blue acaras are hiding up. Which, let's be honest, is rare for them. They're normally front and centre. Yeah, all the cories are hiding. All the bristle noses. Oh well. There is, of course, 150 bristle noses in that breeder box. And another 150 in that tank there. So, you know, just a few bristlies. Oh, sorry. And about 200 bristle noses in there as well. But yeah, you just won't get me into deeper water. Go on, camera, focus. There we go. If I get out of the bath and the water's gone murky and cloudy, I can't get back into it. Had 3 to 4 goldfish in the 20 at one time. Yeah, I mean that's pretty high on a 20-gallon, depending on the size of the goldfish. I mean, if they're like that big, it's no deal, no biggie. But as soon as they start getting, I think goldfish are about the only fish that poop more than plecos do. Gulf of Mexico is not a vacation spot. It's where you go to harden yourself to the nasty. Yeah, like the North Sea coast, really. Well, almost all the waterways around here are no longer waterways. That's the problem. That was its program on ammonia resistance and how deadly it is. I mean, ammonia kills anything, basically. Not just fish, people, germs, everything else. Hell, they've used ammonia gas. They used that in the First World War. Mustard gas was basically chlorine gas. Not pleasant way to kill people, but every so often it worked, and every so often the wind changed direction and blew the gas back over your own trenches, which is not a good idea. Got 2054, some Pandagara and Hillstream roaches, always got nitrates. You know, they did twice a week water changes. Yeah, that's like each tank is different. It's that people that stick to a set of rules. These are the rules for a fish tank. This is how many fish you can put in this tank. This is how much water you need to change every week. Blah 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 blah. No, no. Every tank is different. This is why you can't just have one set of rules that works for everything, or one way of setting a tank up that will work for everything. How many Plecos can you put in a bowl? Well, Stephen, that's an easy one. How big's the bowl? What kind of filters have you got in it? And how often are you willing to do water changes and filter cleans? And do you like Pleco poop? 5-gallon bowl, I'd say 150, just one spawn. Grow them out to about half an inch and then transfer them to a bigger bowl or another bowl and just split them up. Get them to an inch and then sell them and start again. Warning last weekend for people and animals to stay away from this Shenandoah. Oh dear. Ricky, I make my own rules. I am the almighty God for my fishies. Well, we are. Chew's got a Korean friend that keeps a Kandiru Acer. Yeah. So, what is it? Is it that there's something that's been spilt in the Shenandoah? Or is it that the water levels are getting low and they don't want people going in it? And because the video I'm going to upload tomorrow may shock some of you. Just by how dry the UK is. And if I've got you on friended on Facebook, I did share a picture yesterday, which is a satellite image of the UK taken recently, like this last week. And you can see like Wales is still green because it always rains in Wales, no matter what. Scotland is still green because it always rains in Scotland, no matter what. But the rest of the UK, in particular where I am, is just brown. So from orbit, you can see it's just a brown patch because there's been so little rain this year and last year and the year before. So it's just I've got cracks in. Yeah, it's cracks in the ground, toxic algae. Yeah. Oh, that's one of the things that gets me, Chewy, is people go, oh, they're from the Amazon River. It has this pH and is this temperature. Which part of the Amazon River? It's rather large. It's not exactly the same all the way up and down the watercourse. At one point, the Amazon River gets brackish. Shortly before it turns to pure salt. Yeah, it's weird, huh? Amazon is hotter than anyone's home aquarium. Well, I don't know about mine at the moment. The river is only so long. I'd say the river basin, it's all the various tributaries that run into it as well. And you could have one that comes out of the mountains that runs purely through bedrock, and then one that runs just through the forest that runs through leaf litter. They're going to be two entirely different sources of water. Yeah, I mean, if you look at, I think it's the Amazon, where you got the Rio Negro and the Rio, or whatever the other one is called. Basically, one's black and one's brown. and where the two rivers join, you can see the two different colours of water because they don't merge. Rio Branco, that's the one. Thank you very much, Chewy. I was thinking Blanco, and I'm thinking, no, it's not white. It looks like coffee. Yes, you can't just say it's an Amazon fish, therefore it needs this exact set of parameters. And if it's one that's been in the hobby a long time and not wild caught, chances are that fish has never, that fish in about 15 different bloody generations, I've never seen the Amazon River. You know, if you put those fish in the Amazon River, they would probably die because the parameters would be so far off for them. Oh, speaking of which, we are now totally molly free. Yeah. The last one, unfortunately, did pass the other day. I don't know if someone attacked it or it didn't look like it had been eaten, but it was floating about, so it might have just been a heat problem. Basin, not the rivers flowing through the various different. Yeah, it's. Oh no, I don't want any more mollies. I've got plenty of live bearers that are going to go into there. They're in there at the moment. The Limia perugiae. Mercury poisoned the river for years. Yeah, factory runoff. The Beast of Bodmin Moor. The Beast of Bodmin is, yeah. There have been tales about the Beast of Bodmin for donkey's years, for centuries. For those who don't know, Bodmin Moor is in the far southwest of the country. Yeah, shipping to me wouldn't work out well either, not in this weather anyway. I think, forget Bodmin, I think is Cornwall, isn't it? Yeah, Bodmin is Cornwall. Yeah, Manaus, where they all join together. Yeah. Yeah, so historically, the Beast of Bodmin was believed to be what is known in these parts as a shuck or a hellhound, black dog. But the more recent version of the Beast of Bodmin is actually, it's just a wild black panther, or puma, or something big cat wise, that when way back when they decided that you needed, really, it would be a good idea to like need a license to keep large predatory creatures. A lot of people didn't want to go through the expense of getting a license and just let the things go. I say a lot, enough. Blackwater, not Doobie Brothers, me. So yeah, and while there's no actual proof, the fact that they were released in the 70s and the fact that we're still getting sightings and pictures and admittedly grainy videos and reports of large cats. I mean, even around here, there's one been spotted around this area. The fact that we're still getting them means they're breeding in the UK. So if someone did try to send me a fish, what would happen? Probably customs would hold on to it, or customers would get the parcel, open it, decide how much import duty I needed to pay on it, and tax, and then handling charges, and then postage, and then they would charge me, and then by the time they got them to me, they'd all be dead. Is pretty much what would happen. Any good pubs for music in my area? Oh, not for donkey's years. Not since the Oval or the Roundhouse, depending on which way you put it, closed down up on the Ring Road in Norwich. Yeah, I mean, they just don't have. And I've not been in a pub for 20 years, so. And when they did have music, it was generally local bands who sucked. Got bobcats in the area, not seen one. This is the thing. These are stealthy creatures that we don't get to see very often. You're saying people say mollies need brackish water to do well. True. They are. Any live bearer likes hard water, but my water is hard. It's not really far. I mean, my water is Lake Tanganyika, basically. I can keep African cichlids, no problem. Don't have to add any cichlid salts or anything like that. Aragonite sand or none of that. Just straight out the tap. Stick some dechlorinator in it. Safe. And yeah, that's Lake Tanganyika basically. Yeah, it comes out the tap, 8.2 pH. GH and KH off the scales. I did extrapolate on the API test. I think it works out a GH of about 18 drops. Or sorry, KH of 18 drops, GH of about 25. So, you know, fish that like to chew their water do well here. Well, they're legendary clubs. Not really around here. There were some decent ones. I mean, Sam's Place was good. That was really the only sort of rock or metal club in Norwich. The rest of them just played dance and God knows what awful music that I really didn't want to listen to. Yeah, the price of land in Europe. Yeah, price of land in UK. Yeah, when you realise you can make more for selling the land than you're going to make from the business you've got running on the land you sell the land. Son has a memory of seeing an elephant. He's not remembering it correctly. Must have been a cow. Oh, he might have been seeing pink elephants. You never know. Saw the last act at the cave in '81. Yeah. This isn't really an area of the country known for its musical history, shall we put it. I think the biggest artist to come out of Norfolk is, well, it's going to be Cathy Dennis, and actually the Darkness were Suffolk, but they moved to Norfolk. Yeah. Oh, Danny Boy's back. Oh, what's happened with your loach, Dan? What's happened with your loach? Oh no, he's only got one bugger. I've been missing stuffs. Added 2 hill stream loaches. Now only got one. It's the heat. Yeah, I would say so. They like very highly oxygenated water, and yes, heat. What does heat do? It takes the oxygen out of the water. But yeah, I bought a couple as well, and they both died in quarantine. So yeah, I've not bothered since. They're super cool fish though. Yeah, well, I say you get the staff discount down, so that's a little easier. Blooming X, Skippers is it? Skippy's here. Bloody hell, we got everyone turning up. Damn, there must be some kind of no events this week in the US. Yeah, I take it it's been hell for you at work this last few weeks, Dan, with the heat. I hope it's not been too busy for you today. I've got a feeling everyone's been going up the coast, go and sit on the beach and cook themselves for a few hours. Mine's a funny. Told we make up stories of what happened, and that becomes the truth. Yeah. I mean, you can, if you look at crimes, if you got 20 eyewitnesses to a crime, they've all seen the same thing happen. But you'll get 20 different stories, 20 different, well, maybe not 20, but you'll get different versions. You'll get different descriptions of the person who committed the crime, and one will say they were wearing a red sweater. One will say they were wearing a blue tracksuit top. Because the human memory is not perfect. Yeah, my memory's bad enough, so yeah, I can't remember what I had for tea yesterday, but I can remember something that happened 30, 40 years ago, like that. And John Oliver, the Ginger Jeebus, is here. Howdy, sir. Hope all is well with you. Everybody's truth is their truth, and the truth is out there. You watch a film once and remember most of it months later. I can watch a film and then forget I've watched it. And then, like, years and years later, it's like someone will put it on, and I'll be, like, about 2 minutes in, I'll be going, yeah, I've seen this. I know it's going to happen. Did it help with uni lectures? Nope. No. It's weird the way Skip's having a day off from day of rest from the week of hell. Yeah. Well, rest up well, Skippy. Getting the stream ready and doing water changes. Yeah, there's a lot of people like to do their water changes with me waffling in the background. And that's I remember the moment a photo was taken. Nothing else. Have a picture. Remember exactly what happened. So, yeah. Thankfully, there's not many photos around of things I've done in the past. Be absolute killer in jeopardy with all the useless info. God forbid, need to remember a code or passwords, keys, wallet. After 5 days of keeping shop tanks healthy and clean, then on my day off tomorrow, I have to do it all again with my two. Yes. This is one reason why when I was looking for a job, I didn't start applying at places like Maidenhead, really, or any other local fish shops, because I figured the last thing I'd want to do after doing water changes and tank maintenance and talking to people about fish all day is come home and do the same things on my days off. Yeah, I remember when I worked in the model shop, the last thing I wanted to do after I spent all day fixing or working on other people or building other people's radio control cars, last thing I wanted to do when I get home is work on mine. So, yeah, making your hobby your job can be a pig. Remember, don't take the picture. She just took it anyway. 27. You're not that old, Cass. You're not 27. God dear. And I really, really doubt there's a bad picture of you out there, Cass, anywhere. Even that obligatory one we've all got where we've had a really messy night and we've passed out somewhere embarrassing. Actually, no, you've probably not done that, have you? I'm guessing you've never woken up underneath a park bench or in a ditch. I have. People think Dan's younger than he looks. I get that as well, weirdly, sometimes, but now the beard's gone grey as well. People are starting to twig on a bit that I might not be in my 20s anymore. Well, generally, from how I've seen most weddings go, not being able to remember your wedding is probably a good thing, Mandy. 31 because I can't grow much facial hair. I look younger. Yeah, I'm closer to 50 than 40. So, you know, less than a week, I get to play through a 100-watt amp. Drummers are too loud. Oh yeah, drummers are always too loud. I head to my room when I feel I need to pass. So Dan saves money on razors. So do I just don't shave. Literally, the only times I'll shave is for weddings, funerals, job interviews. And heck, the interview for the job I got now, I didn't get a chance to have a shave for. So I went unshaven. I was subtracting 13 from 40. Yes. Yeah, when they can sing above you, you know they're loud. Yeah. Too patchy, it annoys me. No, I literally just get a pair of hair clippers on my face on the shortest set and go. Brrr. But then I don't have lovely, delicate, soft skin and need to use like pre-shave treatments and then special creams and then post-shave treatments. It's whatever the cheapest tin of shaving foam is and whatever the cheapest disposable razors are if I'm going to have a shave. Yeah, and Native American music, yeah. I mean, I could probably sand down a piece of steel with this. Definitely wood. I know I can sand wood with my face because I have done it. Currently having to stand off on my leg hair. Hoping if I can hold out, we just give up and stop growing like it happens with some women. You see, that is possibly the downside of being a redhead idea. Is your hair is redhead's hair is generally a lot thicker and grows a lot more. You could just get your legs sunburnt and then it wouldn't show. Metal country. Well, I mean, country is just farm emo, so you know. Yeah. See you later, Ricky. Have a good night. Enjoy your time in Borneo. That was it. I had Kuala Lumpur on my mind because that's what your mum is. But yes. Enjoy Borneo and the rainforest and try not to get bitten or eaten by anything nasty. And look out for some of the, actually, while you're in Borneo, look at some of their folklore and their cryptids and spirits. Some of that's pretty damn freaky from that part of the world. Like, yeah, kind of stuff that would possibly give me nightmares. Seems like shaving cream went up $3. It was getting hard to find. Now you just get the stuff, you spray a bit out in the can, rub a bit on your face, and go out with a single bladed disposable. And then once you got like, or in my case, once I got like that much done, throw that razor in the bin and pull another one out, do that side, throw that razor in the bin, and do the middle with the third razor. Because this literally takes chunks out of razor blades. Yes, that's why I use a ceramic pair of hair clippers. Because actual metal razor blades get chunks taken out of them by my face fuzz. It is literally wire wool growing out of my face. It's basically the same colour as well now. Songs on acoustic, because then they sound even cooler on electric. But then if you need to do an unplugged set, it still sounds good. Some froth up veteran. You see, Cass, you're going way too deep, way too deep into it. Literally, all you're doing is just putting something on your face so that the razor will slide. That's, or face or legs or wherever you happen to be shaving. Not that I'm judging. Yeah, that's all you're doing. And if you're shaving in the bath, you don't need anything. Literally, if you're shaving your legs in the bath, you don't need any creams or anything. Do they still make Nair? Nair is our version would be Neat or Veet, I think was what they used to call it. It's the stuff that if you leave it on too long, it burns. As a female friend of mine found out once when she put a load on in a sensitive area, forgot about it, and yeah, basically burnt her bits. Acoustic guitars do not make good electric sounds, lol. Yeah. Nair is horrible. Yeah, it's just a chemical that eats hair basically, so it's not going to do good things to anything else, because hair is a lot tougher to eat than skin. This will dissolve. So yeah, having it on there long enough to melt the hair or get rid of the hair but not burn the skin. And then if you spread it on your downstairs, forget about it and go watch TV and fall asleep like my friend did. Yes, she was sitting in a bath of cold water for a while, let's put it that way, to cool things down. And no, it wasn't Marriott. This is going back to my early 20s, and I really can't remember much at all. But that one's stuck in my head. Don't know whether it was because of the story or because I got shown the results. Oh, Shelley scrap. No, this is my piece of sand. No, this is your piece of sand. No, I don't want this rock. You can have it. I don't want that rock. Steam engine with horse sounds. Does sound interesting, Chewy, for certain. I shall try and remember. We all know what my memory's like. And I've got a busy couple of days ahead of me. And hopefully it's cooler so that I don't turn my fresh tanks into salt tanks by dripping into them too much. Yeah, I think that's probably what did for that Molly, was the water just got too hot for it. So I prefer it a bit cooler. But yeah, I'll say Mollies can go full salt anyway. The rabbit wasn't mine. The rabbit is Nadine's, Mary's daughter. But yes, we still have. Well, yes, she's still got Latte, and her dad has still got Tony Rabbit. Latte is the cute little brown one with the floppy ears. That has a container just outside the back door over there with fresh herbs growing in for her. Stevie P is lucky enough that Nair doesn't hurt. He can use it on the most sensitive parts and it works as intended. Good to know. Because, I mean, obviously Stefan is beautiful. And, yeah, I'm sure if at some point we did the old Ancestry or 23andMe, you know, the old DNA tests, there's going to be some shared ancestor there. I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah, there's an uncanny family resemblance. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I only ever shaved my legs once, and that was a really bad idea. Because ladies, I mean, I salute you. There's that itch when it grows back. Jeez. Well, I had to shave it to get into the fish nets. Yes, thankfully there are no pictures of that. Me in fishnets and a schoolgirl uniform with high heels on. I was very young at the time. 22, I think. Have you ever heard of Rick Plester? Nope. More than half the ancestry is English. Yeah. So there's probably a chance then, Stevie, that we are actually related. I make the joke, but I mean, there are definite similarities. I mean, I feel sorry for you if you do look a bit like me, but you know, it's one of those ones where if we were somewhere together, people would probably mistake us for brothers or something, or father and son. Until we both opened our mouths and realised there was something a bit different going on. Because there ain't no way that Stephen's going to try this accent, and there ain't no way I'm going to try his. What's the drum with the scorpions? Metal is very much behind the scenes. Yes. Metal is the best, though. And contrary to popular belief, and I'm going to put this out here because I like all you, okay? Right? We're all friends here. Right? Metalheads tend to put out that image of being not very nice and abrasive and looking a bit weird, and you don't want to be around them because you know, they might worship Satan and do all sorts of nasty things. And in actual fact, metalheads are really nice people, and they're usually the smart people as well. Funny, I know. Yeah, so shh, we'll keep that one between us. But yeah, you're far safer at a heavy metal concert than you are at a pop or a rap or anything else. Especially if you're a single female. There's not only will the band stop playing if something bad happens, but the rest of the crowd will help you as well. Yeah. Because we've got our own little group, as it were. But the metal community accepts everyone in. It's like, welcome, welcome, come enjoy the good music. And then they'll start explaining about different time signatures than 4/4 and different meters, and that you can have more than one key change in a song, and the song can be more than 3 minutes long and not be boring. The hell, I know songs that have got 3 minute long intro that's more interesting than most songs that are made these days. Yeah, exactly. So I don't judge people on what they look like. Read their soul. Oh, geez, don't want to read my soul. That thing's black. It makes the cover of Metallica's Black album look colourful. Five-time best Canadian guitarist and award-winning hockey goaltender. Yeah, they're two careers I wouldn't want to put together. Hockey is likely to result in hand injuries. Last thing you want. And yes, that is my knuckles just cracking from clenching my fists. Now, the middle of the centre part of me is black and dead. Yeah, concentration level is pretty high. Yeah. Not fan of instrumentals. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if the instrumental is the same, then yeah, it does get boring. If it changes up in key, tempo, melody, meter, then if it keeps building and going somewhere, it's like meandering and going different places, and not necessarily the places you'd expect it to go, which is where it gets interesting. Because we've all had that moment where we've been listening to the radio or something, and it's the first time we've heard a song, but we know exactly where the song's going. Right, we go, right, that's the intro, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the end of the first verse. Yeah, that's the chorus. Right, now we've got a verse and the chorus. Yep. And now we've got a bridge, and now we've got an outro chorus, and that's going to be repeated, and then the end of the song. Yeah, this is it. If it's something interesting that moves around, if it's the same thing, then yeah, it gets really boring really fast, which is the thing with a lot of modern music. It's the same beat all the way through the song. It's the same melody, the same riff. And he's just like, oh, God, I'm bored. And the 3 minute song feels like it takes 5 or 6 minutes. But then if you get you can get a 20-minute song that doesn't repeat itself. Prog metal is superb for that. I mean, hell, something like the intro to The Greatest Show on Earth by Nightwish is about 5 minutes of literally one keyboard part that plays, and there's a whistle or recorder or flute, whichever way you want to call it, part, a small vocal part, and then an Ilium pipe part, which is the Englishized version of the Irish bagpipe. And it all follows similar motifs, but it meanders and goes through and over, and there's a lot going on. So, I mean, it has to be. It's a 20-minute song. And when at about 18-minute mark, you're going, "We were here." Yeah, rhythm guitar players that keep that stuff together. Yes. Yeah, the rhythm guitar or the bass tends to follow the same kind of line, and then everyone else just sort of weaves in and around it. I mean, even drummers, if you get into the same part, play a different drum fill. Don't play the same drum fill every time, or it just gets boring. Yeah. Yeah. Mandy is very Teutonic in things like that. Eins, zwei, eins, zwei, eins, zwei. See, I like music that does do those kind of things. It's more cerebral, as it were. There's things to think about. I mean, heck, if you listen to Lateralis, is it by Tool? The time signature on the vocals follows the Fibonacci scale, which is just mental when you think about it. And it works. It shouldn't do, but it works. It's just like, what? No, what you? Hey, behave. I think we're about to lose the Shelley. I think we're getting Shelley scrap going on. Never mind. Yeah, I like my music a bit more complex. Is all. I get bored with the standard 3-minute pop song. Um, if you want really good lyrics, um, something that will grab you and hit you in the feels. Yeah, you're not going to go wrong with Nightwish or Sabaton. Because I mean, basically, all of Sabaton's music is based on historical things that really happened. And Bateson's here. How you doing? 2 lead guitar players that are great rhythm players that get put in the Hall of Fame. Oh. Now, my guess is you're probably not going to be talking Gossard and McCready. So who else could it be? There's so many to choose from. What are the names? Judas Priest guitarists. And it's definitely not going to be Kerry King. Yeah, I'm doing okay now, bass. Now it's actually started to cool off a bit. I think it's, according to my pooter, it says it's down to 26 degrees now, which is hot. Yeah. Which is what, 7-degree drop on what it was about 2 hours ago. Yeah, you know it's a great song when there's a lot to listen to, when you can't just listen to it once. You got to listen to it multiple times to get everything that's going on in the song. Priest's still not in the hall on the ticket for this year. There we go. I did wonder, I couldn't remember whether they were. I know Pearl Jam are, but just ramping up and getting warm here. Well, thankfully it's cooling off tonight. I might even be able to get some sleep tonight. Because even though I do everything I can to keep the inside of my home as cool as possible, short of buying air conditioning, which I refuse to do, especially with the increasing in prices of the UK energy. I think it's something like a 75% increase going up later in the year. A couple of months' time. That's a unit price. So each unit of electric will go up 75%. Seen pop on the 150 tool. Oh no. Yeah, that's not good. It might have been a Pleco, but yeah, they do well to get underneath the seal. Watch Roger Fisher's videos on YouTube. When you watch people's hands, you learn. Yeah, that's it. Watching is like anything. It's one thing reading how to do something or whatever, but watching someone do it is a lot easier to learn from. I do enjoy watching Paul Davids. He's a Dutch guitarist. My my guitar's upstairs now, but yeah, I haven't played for donkeys, so yeah, Eddie Vedder is part of all of anyone's our age's soul, Andy. We all get the lighters out for Black and Jeremy still to this day. Rarely add new songs to the playlist unless I really love it. Yeah, well, there's just not that many songs come out that I like these days. Yeah, 10 album got me through some things. And speaking of Jeremy's, we were actually talking about the Pearl Jam, and I'll be nice to you and I won't start singing it. Got one 6-inch plus under the seal. Probably going out anyway. Using it like a cave. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, so hopefully you didn't end up with 150 gallons of water on the floor and all the fish deaded. But hopefully you managed to get it fixed before anything dramatic happened. But well spotted if you did. And I'm going to have to say, if you like your a cappella, or just someone with an awesome voice, can't go wrong with a bit of Jeff Castellucci. I still say the Alice in Chains version of Barracuda is better than the Heart version of Barracuda, but there you go. And I think I prefer the Floor Jansen version of Alone. That's probably just because it's Floor Jansen. So a little bit rather easy on the eye, let's put it that way. There's a reason I have dreams about her fairly regularly. 90s was a great time for music, it was. And these days it's all just corporate, pretty much. What will sell the most? Who is this pretty person and what kind of music career can we create for them? With songs written by a team of songwriters, produced through the wazoo, and yeah, it's And plus, digital just sounds awful. It does. It's when someone tries to tell me that their phone with tiny little wireless earbuds sounds amazing, and I'm like, I don't need to listen to know it doesn't, because the speakers are far too small. It's pure digital, and it's going to be compressed like a mofo. I might be getting a bit deaf because of one, possibly two, three, too many very loud metal concerts, but Skydancer, if you like your sort of kind of bit out there-y kind of instrumentally kind of stuff, you want to check out Auri. No, type it in the bar, Sharpe. That's a good one to check out if you've not heard of them before. That is Tuomas Solopainen, Johanna Kirkala, and Troy Donockley. How's it going, Jezza? Tuomas is basically the metal Mozart, is what he's known as. But that's like his side project that he does, which is him and his wife, and then Troy is the multi-instrumentalist from Nightwish, who also sings. So he plays the guitar, the bouzouki, pretty much anything you blow into. Ilium pipes. He plays all the weird stuff that nobody else plays. I Want My Tears Back. Yes, I Want My Tears Back, where there's a solo. Well, it's a duet, really, where Empu plays one thing on the guitar and then Troy plays the same thing on the pipes, and they're going back and forth between each other. And then they join in together at the same time, playing the same thing on different instruments. And that's when you know they're really in sync. When they're playing a fast-paced solo on two different instruments in exactly the same time. It's like, whoa. Asking for a tip on guitar playing. He said, become a bass player. Yeah, generally a good idea, because a lot of people go, yeah, I'm going to become a guitarist because the guitarist gets famous. And people don't tend to go and try and learn the bass. But for every band that's got a guitarist in it, they got a bass player as well. So if you can play bass, Spotify can make decent recommendations. I don't know. I tried it out for a short while and it kept bringing up rubbish. It's like, you like this, so you might be interested in this. Like, no, I'm not interested in Nicki Minaj. Look at the acoustic 6-string bass. Yeah, basically it is. But basically, get it? Yeah, it's yeah. She's got the butt stuff. Oh dear, who's got the butt stuff? Oh, Nicki Minaj. Yeah, but she can't sing or rap or write music. It's the kind of, when you get the kind of music where it's more enjoyable to watch it muted. That's when you know you shouldn't be listening to it. When you mute it and it's more enjoyable. You know, well, at least you had to do it now, Skipper, and not in the middle of your stream. Yeah, exactly, Jeremy. That's a lot of music. It's better with the sound turned down. Yeah. Yeah, it's always better for your computer to need a restart outside of your own stream. I've had that happen before. It's really not fun. You sat here clicking, no, restart later. Every 5 minutes, restart later. I recommend a candle box and velvet revolver. Oh, you poor soul. So if you're going velvet revolver, then you may as well just listen to Stone Temple Pilots and actually get Scott Weiland when he could sing. Good questions. Good question, Chewy. No new fish planned because I've got nowhere to put them, even though I did. Ghostly Tales, what have we got on the videos to go up? Ooh, have we got any spooky dooky ones ready to go? I've got 3 from Oxborough Church, got Besthorpe Church. There's one, I've got one recorded ages ago, which is basically how I would do my thoughts on how you should go about doing a paranormal investigation. I don't think I've got any sort of actual spooky ones ready to go yet. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, London covered up the Jack the Ripper crime scenes. No respect for history. Yeah, we can't possibly have people knowing that people got murdered around here. It's the East End of London. People getting murdered there all the time. Still are. Yeah, London isn't just that little bit in the middle that the tourists visit. It's a great big city. And outside that little bit that the tourists visit, it's not a very nice place to be at all. Generally, there are your expensive posh places. Yeah. Like any large city, they all have their problems. Yeah, so got nothing. What we got for this? So what videos we got this week? Tomorrow is going to be where I took a trip down to my local fishing lake and had a wander around. Where you will see that gas bubbles coming from the substrate do not kill all the fish in the lake or the fish tank. Because you will see me identifying different fish species by the bubbles that come up. Yeah, and we'll also see how low the water levels are. Not sure about Friday yet. We might do Oxborough. We might do one of the others. I'll have to see how I go, because I'm working Friday. So much like this Friday, where I started uploading the video and then it decided it was going to take ages to process, so I had to go to work and then come home and then finish the video. It was all processed and ready to go. I said so. Basically hit upload. What am I keeping at the moment? Bristle noses, Shelleys, electric blue Acaras, black neons, Corys, Limia, Clown Plecos, more bristle noses, shrimp, ram's horns, more Corys, more shrimp, more shrimp, comets. It's quite a list. Yeah, there's a lot of haunted places in London. That thing has been around thousands of years, so there's been plenty of time for things to start happening. There's one, I think it's in Chester, where Roman soldiers walk through the pub, but because the ground level is a lot higher than it used to be, you only see the top of the helmets coming out through the ground or through the floor of the pub. They're walking along the old Roman road. Old streets of London. Yeah, I mean, one of these days, when I get around to it, I'm gonna take probably a day trip or 2 day trip to Norwich and start filming some of the things up there, like Elm Hill and the 2 cathedrals and that kind of stuff. Maybe some of the churches. At one point, Norwich had a church for every week of the year, so 52 churches. Not to mention, on top of that, the 2 cathedrals and the various abbeys and monasteries, and 365 pubs. So a different pub for every day in the year. Yeah, the underground they built over as well. True gas lamps is a thought in East London around the time of the Ripper. Yeah. And then you've got Spring Hill Jack as well from around about that time as well. Some very, very strange things have happened in London. Not to mention all the gangster stuff that's happened over the centuries as well. Thankfully, I live in a fairly quiet part of the country where not a lot happens. But yeah, it's a very old part of the country. Actually, I think East Anglia was one of the first places that were actually permanently settled in the UK. Did it just get darker outside in the last couple of minutes? Yeah, no, it's getting dark. It now gets dark here by 9 o'clock at this time of year. So literally the sun has just dipped behind the bungalow behind the house. So there's very little light coming through now. Can't watch the ghost shows and have trouble falling asleep. Well, if it's any help, Cassie, most of those are fake. Yeah, most of that is BS. The story when they tell what happened at the place and what other people have experienced at the place, that's true. But what they then go through and do in the show is not necessarily real. Because otherwise, if you've been investigating these things for years, why are you still freaking out and getting panicky about one knock on a wall or something? Yeah. If I freaked out every time I heard a knock or saw a shadow or heard a laugh or a female voice calling my name or something not nipping my toes or sitting down on my bed, I'd be permanently freaked out. But it's just like, yeah. I live in a haunted house and have lived in several throughout my life, so these things don't bother me at all anymore. Yes, grandparents do tell you stories that stick with you through your life. Well, as that's happening, that is my clue that tells me my time is up. My 2 hours is done. And the fact it's getting dark. Yeah, it is, man. It's that once in a while something does actually happen that you can't explain. That's the real stuff, which happens possibly once or twice a season. Anyway, so Thank you to everyone for turning up and being here. The regulars, the new people, the randoms, everyone. Hope you had a bit of fun. Hope it weren't too weird. Hope it hasn't got too dark at the end. But have a great week. Hopefully the weather is good wherever you are, for whatever kind of weather you like. Enjoy your hobbies. Peace out. Have fun. Rock on. And bye-bye. It's just another Sharpe Sunday. Tomorrow's what a change day.